In the first question, it says, write 6,475 correct to the nearest 10. So our 10 value is 7. So we rounded based on the units value, which is 5. Since it's 5, so that means we will round 7 up. So that's going to be 6,480. Question 2 says, write 0.75 as a fraction. So as a fraction, it's going to be 75 over 100. Why? Because move the decimal 2 places to the right. Moving the decimal 2 places to the right, we're adding 2 zeros with the 1 in the denominator. So 75 over 100 can also be simplified to 3 over 4. So you can either write 75 over 100 or 3 over 4 or any like equivalent fraction. Question 3 says a piece of string has length 65.1 centimeters. The string is cut into 7 equal pieces. Find the length of each piece. So for this, we just divide 65.1 by 7. We know 7 nines are 63. Subtract it. Remainder 2. Move the decimal up. Bring the 1 down. 7 threes are 21. 0 remainder. So that means it's 9.3 centimeters. Question 4 says find the mode of these numbers. So mode is basically your highest frequency. And by highest frequency, I mean the number that's occurring the most. So the number that's occurring the most is 12. So that's your mode. Question 5 says the bag contains 6 red balls, 4 green balls, and 2 blue balls. Zaya takes a ball from the bag at random. Write on the letter from the probability scale that was the probability that Zaya takes a green ball. So there are 4 green balls. And the total balls are 12. So the probability of getting a green ball is going to be 4 over 12, which simplifies to 2 over 6. Now, the reason why I'm just simplifying it to 2 over 6 is because if you look at the scale, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total divisions. So this is 1 out of 6. This is 2 out of 6, 3 out of 6, 4 out of 6, and 5 out of 6. So in this case, 2 out of 6 is at C. Part B says Zaya takes a yellow ball. So now if you look at the balls, we have red, green, and blue. There is no yellow ball. So the probability is going to be 0. Then it says Zaya does not take a blue ball. So if he does not take a blue ball, he's either taking a red ball or a green ball. So for not a blue ball, that's 10 over 12, which simplifies to 5 over 6, which comes over here at F. So that's your answer for C. Question 6 says these are the first 4 terms of a sequence. Find the next term. So let's find the common difference first. Between 19 and 26, we're adding 7. Between 33 and 26, we're adding 7 again. And similarly, between 40 and 33, we're adding a 7. Which means for the next term, we're also going to add a 7. That gives us 47. Then it says write down the term-to-term rule for the sequence. So for the term-to-term rule, remember, first you multiply the common difference to n. So the common difference is 7. So 7n. Now we see if we use 7n, would that give us the first term? So for the first term, we're going to substitute n with 1. So 7 times 1 gives us 7, not 19. So to turn 7 into 19, we need to add 12 to it. So now keeping that in mind, if I find the third term, so that's going to be 7 times 3 plus 12, which is 21 plus 12, and that's 33. Hence, our term-to-term rule is 7n plus 12. Remember, always start with finding the common difference. Then multiply the common difference by n, and then, change the expression based on what the first term is and like how you can get the first term. Do we need to add something to that, or do we need to subtract something? So if you practice a few questions, you'll get the hang of it. It's like a very scoring question. Part B says these are the first four terms of another sequence: -1, 2, 5, and 8. Find the nth term of this sequence. Same thing. First, we'll find the common difference. So between -1 and 2, we're adding 3. Between 2 and 5, we're again adding 3, and same between 8 and 5. So we multiply the common difference by n. Now, if we put n equals to 1 in 3n, that gives us 3 as the first term. But over here, the first term is -1. So to turn 3 into -1, we need to subtract 4 from it. So now if we use this as the nth term, third term would be 3 times 3 minus 4, which is 9 minus 4, and that gives us 5, which is exactly what we have over here. So the nth term is 3n minus 4. And question 7 says simplify 3p minus t minus p minus 4t. Collect the like terms. 3p and minus p are like terms. Remember to always include the sign. And -t and -4t are like terms. So that's going to give us 3p minus p minus t minus 4t. 3p minus p is 2p. Minus t minus 4t is minus 5t. So 2p minus 5t is our answer. Question 8 says, from the list of numbers, write down a cube number. So from these numbers, our cube number is 64. Why? Because 64 is 8 cube. Why? Because 64 is 4 cube. Then a prime number is a number that's divisible only by itself and 1, which in this case is going to be 61 or 67. You can choose either one of these and get a mark for it. Ninth is a scale drawing shows the positions of town K and town L. The scale is 1 centimeter, represents 10 kilometers. Find the actual distance between town K and town L. So to find the actual distance, what you will do is you will measure this distance using a ruler and then times that distance by 10 kilometers. And that would give you the actual distance in kilometers. Then it says measure the bearing of town L from town K. So bearing of town L from town K. When it says from some place, you measure the angle from that part. So this is the angle that we're going to measure. So you're going to take your protractor, put it over here. The center will be over here at the north. And then you will measure this angle. This will be your bearing of town L from town K. Then it says town M is 40 kilometers from town L on a bearing of 140 degrees. On the scale drawing, mark the position of town M. So it's 40 kilometers and on a bearing of 140 degrees. So we know 1 centimeter equals to 10 kilometers. So that means 40 kilometers would equal to 4 centimeters. So the bearing was 140 degrees for town M from town L, which means it's going to be somewhere over here, and it's going to be 4 centimeters long, like the line. So this is your town M. This would be your 140 degrees, and this would be 4 centimeters. Now, once again, I'm drawing like a rough drawing because I can't draw it with a protractor and ruler like this online. But like I'm still giving you a rough idea like what the steps are to make this correctly. You will measure the 140 bearing from the north of L towards the line, mark it, then draw a 4 centimeter line, and that will mark the position of down M. Question 10 says the surface area of a cube is 121.5 centimeters square. Calculate the length of one side of the cube. So surface area formula for a cube is 6x squared. So 121.5 equals to 6x squared, x being the length of one side of the cube. We divide it by 6 and then square root the result to get the value of x. That is going to equal to 4.5 centimeters. So that is your answer. Question 11 says the diagram shows 3 lines meeting at a point. Find the value of W. So angles at a point, their sum equals to 360, which means all of these add up to 360. So W plus 90 plus 80 equals to 360. So now to find the value of W, we can subtract 90 and 80 from 360, and that gives us the value of 190 degrees. Part B says BCD is an isosceles triangle, ABC is a straight line. Work out the value of Y. So since ABC is a straight line and BDC is an isosceles triangle, in an isosceles triangle, the main property of the triangle is that we have 2 equal lengths and 2 equal angles. So we can easily find the value of these 2 angles. Angle DBC equals to 180 minus 80 and then divided by 2. So that's 100 divided by 2, which equals to 50 degrees. So this is 50 and this is also 50. So since ABC was a straight line, Y and 50 add up to 180. So that means Y is going to be 180 minus 50, which is 130 degrees. Question 12 says, write down the equation of a line parallel to the line y equals to 2x. So when 2 lines are said to be parallel, that means they have the same gradient. So over here, we can write any line. You can add or subtract any number from y equals to 2x as long as your gradient is the same. And the gradient is basically the number that's multiplied to x. That is your gradient. So we can write y equals to -1, +1, any number can be added or subtracted. Once again, as long as the gradient is the same. Question 13 says, each student in a class of 20 students records the number of coins in their pockets. The table shows the results. So we have a row for the number of coins and a row for the frequency of those number of coins. Find the median value. So median would be half of it, which is 20 divided by 2, 10. So where do 10 coins come? So if you start counting, this is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 7 is 11. So the 10th coin is coming over here. So the number of coins, so the median value is going to be 2. Then it says calculate the mean. So for the mean, we multiply the number of coins in frequency, add them all up, and then divide by the total frequency. So 0 times 3 plus 1 times 1, then 2 times 7, 3 times 8, 4 times 0, 5 times 0, and 6 times 1. Divided by 20, which is the total frequency. And this will give us the value of 2.25. Question 14 says expand 4 brackets x minus 3. So whenever there's a term outside the bracket and inside the bracket, we multiply them. So 4 times x plus 4 times negative 3, and that gives us 4x minus 12. That is your expansion of this bracket. Then question 15 says find the size of an interior angle of a regular 15-sided polygon. So the interior angle formula is n minus 2 times 180 over n. N is given as 15, so 15 minus 2 times 180 over 15. So that gives us 156 degrees. Question 16 says Rio buys some pens. He sells 63 pens, which is 7 over 9 of the pens he buys. Work out how many pens he buys. So 63 pens which he has sold is basically 7 over 9 of the pens he bought. So if you translate the statement into an equation, that's 63 equals 7/9 of x. X being the pens that he bought. So 63 equals to 7 over 9 times x. So we do 63 times 9 over 7. And that is 81. So he bought 81 pens. Question 17 says, Ed has n books. Sam has 3 times as many books as Ed. Jane has 2 books fewer than Sam. The of the books is 54. Use this information to write down an equation and solve it to find the value of n. So Ed is n. Sam is 3 times as many as Ed, so 3n. Jane is 2 books fewer than Sam, so that means 3n minus 2. Total is going to be n plus 3n plus 3n minus 2, which is equal to 54. So n plus 3n is 4n. 4n plus 3n is 7n. 54 plus 2 equals to 7n, which is 56 equals to 7n, and that gives us the value of n as 8. Question 18 says, without using a calculator, work out 2 whole number 1 over 4 minus 1 whole number 11 over 12. You must show all your working, giving your answer as a fraction in its simplest form. So first we convert the mixed numbers into an improper fraction. We multiply the denominator by the whole number and then add the result to the numerator. So 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. 9 over 4. In all these cases, the denominator is going to be the same when you're converting a mixed number into an improper fraction. Then 12 times 1 is 12 plus 11 is going to be 23 over 12. When we're adding or subtracting fractions, we need to make sure that the denominator is the same. So to make the denominator same, we multiply the first fraction by 3. Both the numerator and denominator will be multiplied by 3, not just the denominator. So that is 12. 3 times 9 is 27. So 27 minus 23, which is 4. And 4 over 12 simplifies to 1 over 3. Question 19 says workers in an office represent the universal set. Then C represents workers who drink coffee. T represents workers who drink tea. 47 people work in the office and 32 people drink tea. You have to complete the Venn diagram. So if 47 people work in the office and 32 people drink tea. So that's the total number of people who drink tea, which also includes the people who drink coffee and tea. So to find the intersection between coffee and tea, we do 32 minus 6, which will give us 26. So 26 people drink coffee and tea. And since the total number of people is 47, to find the people who just drink coffee, we will do 47 minus 26 minus 6 minus 8. That is 7. So 7 people just drink coffee. Then it says write down the number of people who drink coffee and tea. So that was 26, the intersection between the two. And then it says work out the probability that the worker chosen at random does not drink coffee. So if he's not drinking coffee, that's going to be 6 plus 8 divided by 47, which is 14 over 47. That is the number of people who do not drink coffee. Question 20 says the weight W grams for box is 463.9 grams. Correct to one decimal place. Complete the statement by the value of W. So since the degree of accuracy is correct to one decimal place, so that means we will divide 0.1 by 2, which gives us 0.05. So now for the upper bound, we do 463.9 plus 0.05. And for the lower bound, we do 463.9 minus 0.05. So that's 463.95. And this is going to be 463.85. So this is our lower bound. And this is our upper bound. Then it says calculate 6.4 times 10 to the power of 5 divided by 2.5 times 10 to the power of negative 7. So when we divide the two, what we get is 2.56 times 10 to the power of 12. Question 22 says Mia invests $1,270 for 5 years at a rate of 2.1% per year compound interest. Calculate the value of her investment at the end of the 5 years. Since it's compound interest, the formula we'll use is P times 1 plus R over 100 to the power of T. So investment amount is 1,270 times 1 plus 2.1 over 100 to the power of 5. So when we solve this, what we get is $1,409.07. Question 23 says diagram shows a right angle triangle. Calculate the value of x. So this is a right angle triangle, and in a right angle triangle, when they've given us an angle and one of the lengths, and they want us to find a missing length, we go for SOHCAHTOA. Now for SOHCAHTOA, we need to see what information is given. We have an angle, yes. We have the hypotenuse, and they're asking us to find the opposite. Opposite is always the length that is opposite to the angle. And the length on which the angle lies, that is your adjacent. So need to find the opposite. We have the hypotenuse, so we will use sine. Sine of 42 equals to x over 9.7. So 9.7 times sine 42 equals to x. And that gives us the value of 6.49 centimeters. Question 24 says shape A is mathematically similar to shape B. Calculate the value of x. So when shapes are similar, they basically share a scale factor. So these are the two corresponding lengths for shape A and shape B. So if we do 6.75 divided by 2.7, that would be the same as x over 3.2. Why? Because they're sharing the same scale factor for each length. If we times something, like for example, if we times 3.2 by 2, and that gives us this length, then if we times 2.7 by 2, that would give us the other length. So they're enlarged by the same scale factor. So we do 6.75 divided by 2.7, and then times that by 3.2. So this over this times by 3.2 to find x, and x comes out as 8 centimeters. That is your final answer.